Hello everybody and welcome to this how I do my daily maintenance video here on the Antholfer Extra channel. Now for the longest time I didn't do any daily maintenance on all of my colonies, and I pretty much did weekly or twice a week maintenance days, and that's why I decided not ever really to do these kind of videos. But today I'll be showing you a little bit of what my daily ant keeping maintenance evolves around. And pretty much I always start here from the right side and go on. So not ant related, but Frank the Mantis right here. He is fed once every couple of days. We have a Nico worker right here on the loose, which we'll just see if we can grab up with some ant handling tweezers straight away. Could you please? Thank you very much. And here we go. Sorry for that. That Nico worker have escaped after I've literally just done the maintenance. But of course right here with the Nico Barensis, we don't have any daily maintenance up here because, well, it's a wooden nest. But down here we are feeding the colony every day, every second day. So what I'm doing with all of my ants is I go in and feed the colony. I now feed frozen food to make sure that there's no mites on the food itself. So all of the colonies are being fed with frozen food, except the colony that requires live food. So they've just been fed with about 2 or 3 frozen roaches. In around 24 hours tomorrow evening, I will take it all out. I do that by, well, taking the entire dish out and of course then removing what's inside. Now that in this colony specifically takes about 5 minutes because the Nicos are a very big hassle to work with. But then I also keep an eye on the water levels. Luckily, these antimatter liquid feeders can be filled up from the outside without ever having to take them out. Now, I do take them out every once in a while to clean them, but yeah, you get the point. Over here, we have the Solenopsis geminata. Now, if you saw Sunday's video, the queen has sadly passed away. She's right there. I haven't done all the recordings with her yet, so I'm just going to leave her and the bee in there. But I've just fed them a roach either way to make sure that the brood survives. But this is a Wakushi Venus nest, meaning there's no water needed. This right here is the Nova Mesa Coccarelli, and I never hydrate this nest. I think the ants bring so much humidity in themselves somehow that I don't need to hydrate it. This nest over here, I do hydrate a little bit once every week, and that's also in here we have most of the larvae down here. We have some of the eggs and the larvae, can't really see them right here. The queen is in her off period. She goes a little bit on and off with laying eggs. But over here we have the heated side. And in here we do have all of the brood, all of the pupae, the final stage. Now this colony right here, I hydrate this nest once a week. Every day or every second day I go in and feed them frozen food like I've just done today. And tomorrow I will take it out. Now these will have completely removed all protein from this tomorrow, meaning it's very easy to take it off because they're not interested. Once again, I am feeding them quite a bit, but it will all be gone tomorrow. It'll be hollowed out. Maybe I should just do a video tomorrow actually showing it. I don't know. If you want me to do an after cleaning video, please let me know in the comments. But yeah, then I of course also check whether they have enough water. The next colony is a Tetramarum bicarinatum, and this colony, of course, have a little bit of a funny nest because they have this dig fix nest. And simply once every 2 weeks or something, I quickly remove the lid, hydrate. Oh, sorry, guys. And sadly, there's no good way of doing it. If I pull out the plug on the side, I've tried that in the past, doesn't work. Pull out the other plug on the other side, doesn't work very well. There's no good way to hydrate this nest, and I really don't like it, to be honest. It's a lovely gimmick, but it's a gimmick. It doesn't work as it's meant to do. In here we once more have the antimatter dish because these ants are a pain to actually go in and clean. So I take the dish out tomorrow and I clean it out, and the same with the water. We keep an eye on the water. Now this colony in specific is quite messy, so I will also clean them once a week, where I go in with my Hoover. I grab my Hoover right here and I pretty much go in and suck it all out and put it in an outworld where I will then sort the alive from the deads. Now, this specific colony, they do need it quite a bit, but it's also just looking quite dirty because it's dirt from that up there. In here in the corner, I did clean it last week, and you can see that already now they have accomplished to put a little bit new trash. But generally with the big roach pieces right here, I can just take the entire piece out with very small efforts. Over here, we have a test tube set up once again, so I don't need to think about water. By the way, all of my colonies are fed sugar once a week on the weekend maintenance day. So they only feed sugar once a week, and I don't feed them a lot at all. You can see right here they've recently been fed with a little bit of sugar, but this is a test tube setup. This is the Camponotus singularis, and you can see they've also just been fed. They are being fed quite a bit because I want to make sure the colony does all right. No maintenance here whatsoever. We do have the same maintenance. Going in, grabbing it, taking it out. This is a small colony, fairly easy. Same with the Herculinus, small colony, fairly easy to go in and do the maintenance. Over here it gets a little bit more interesting. So I have to hydrate one of these 3 nests once a week. So last week I hydrated this, then I'll rehydrate this, hydrate this, boom, 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 all the way around all the time. Because that makes sure that they will kind of relocate around in the nest, but also that the water in there won't go too bad. I'm not the biggest fan of this system, but it works all right for this specific colony. In the outworld, we do have a lot of mess, and they have just been fed with a lot of food. Is this from today, I wonder? I don't think it is. Maybe it is. I want to say that I always put all of the food in here, right there, but I mean, I fed them a lot. We do have a little bit, but they have been really quick. But else, I swap around 2 test tubes. So 2 test tubes always have water. These 2 are running out. These 2 should last around 2 weeks. And then these 2 should last 2 weeks. And then I kind of switch around. Now, the messes are a very big pain to clean. But I also did clean them this weekend. And you can't even see it because they are messer. They are very messy. But their maintenance is, of course, keep an eye on the water, feed them every second day, take it out every second day. So there's never there shouldn't be anything like this, but I guess they have hidden it from me because I've taken the big pieces from over here when I did the cleanup. Another mantis, feeding it every few days, hydrating it, the same with the spider, feeding it every few days. Where is he? He's hanging out up here. I don't know if it's he or she. Feeding it every few days and just hydrating the nest. All right, the leaf cutters over here are fairly interesting because they are getting a little bit of special treatment. I am feeding them around twice a week, depending on really looking at the fungus. So this they have a little bit of a die down of the fungus at the moment, especially with that part over there. Hence why I've just fed them a little bit of leaves. Now today is a fairly small feed, but it was just kind of a last minute, let's feed them some food. Normally I feed them a little bit more. But I realized that the fungus was quite small, so I decided to go in and feed them. And they are eating dandelions. And every time I say dandelions, thanks, Rich, I think of you. Because in the first Leafcutter podcast, before I had Leafcutter ants myself, Rich says, mine love dandelions. What about you, Sid? With the biggest accent. And every time I say dandelions, I think, mine love dandelions. What about you, Sid? So yeah. They're getting some dandelions. They actually weren't happy for dandelions in the beginning, but that's not about. Of course, I do check on the barriers to make sure how are they currently escaping. Is there anything going on? What's it's looking like? It's not too bad, but I have just put some in this corner and also some in this corner over here. Now I'm using olive oil for this species because they go crazy on escaping. You can see we have a trash pile right here, and I will suck it up with the Hoover method. I use pretty much the Hoover method for all of my ants if there's small debris, where I pretty much hoover it up, and then I put it in an outworld, and then I sort it from ants. But over here I feed them every twice a week, and I need to remove this once the pile gets big enough. You can see it's fairly small. But they have actually started using a little bit of trash in here, which this chamber was always meant to do because this is very easy to disconnect. I hydrate it once a week, twice a week, if it's totally dry. You can see I've just filled it up 10 minutes ago before I started this recording, so it's still sucking up. Then right here we have my cricket farm. I just bought new crickets because, of course, the old mite thing. So I bought these crickets, another species, from another store, and they are currently mite-free. So they're also getting the mite treatment, meaning I'm keeping an eye on the food and I'm keeping an eye on everything. These species over here are a little bit different because they are all 3 getting daily feeding. I am feeding them crickets every single day. And as you can see in here in the Venatus, I fed them way too many yesterday and they're actually still eating a lot of them. So they don't need to be fed today, but the trapjaws over here are very bad at hunting, so I kind of just wait for the crickets to go into the nest. And you can actually see that if we take it out, we still have 2 crickets out here. 3 crickets out here from yesterday, so they haven't hunted at all, it seems. Bull ants are very strange at the moment. They're in the middle of spinning a whole lot of cocoons, and it seems like in this cocoon stage, they're not hunting because, I don't know, I haven't really seen them successfully hunt these crickets. I don't know if they're too small because they're way smaller than the old ones. I'm not too sure. But also, if you didn't know, sadly, we have lost 2 of the 9 bull ant larvae. There are still 2 larvae remaining, and we have 5 cocoons or something. I'm also keeping this well ventilated to keep airflow, so we don't have any mites. I do the same with all of my setups. Good well airflow, so we dry out any mites. Good airflow, so we dry out the mites. Good airflow. I don't trust the species because they can produce their own queens. They may get mites, that's how it is. Make sure that cleaning is on top. A good amount of airflow and a good amount of airflow. And with that, I want to say that that's a little bit of my maintenance. I do daily maintenance now, and it takes around 15 minutes to feed all of the colonies and just to refill the water. And then it takes about, the day after, it takes about 25 minutes to get all of the food out. So I do spend around 1 hour every 2 days on pure maintenance. So 1 hour on TikTok every day, plus half an hour on maintenance every day. Yeah, I'm in here in the ant room quite a bit now. But the more I do this, the more of a system I'm also getting. So everything is becoming more and more of a system now, which is good. But yeah, let me know if you have any questions. And if you want to see like a follow-up after I've cleaned how I do that, please let me know in the comments. But that have been how I do my daily maintenance. So yeah, of course I'm feeding 1, 2, 3, should be right here. At the moment I am feeding frozen roaches. Back in the day I was feeding live roaches, but mites, everything has been frozen. And it's actually a lot easier to feed frozen because I simply just, well, take it up, cut it over and put it in, compared to before when you had to grab it and really say goodbye and cut the head off. So this is way better that they're frozen already, but it's also just more expensive on the long run because I have a lot of colonies that need a lot of roaches. So yeah, hello for here as well. But yeah, I want to say thank you all very much for watching this daily maintenance routine. This maintenance routine have worked more or less the same for the past many years, except for these 3 because they need daily maintenance with feeding. And except for the mite situation, before I would do this maintenance, I would feed them Thursday and Saturday and do the big clean Sunday. And that's why the mites were able to do well, because some of the setups I didn't do all the cleans I should. So now I keep everything on point and I make sure everything is always very clean. But thank you all very much for watching this video, and I hope you all have a lovely week. Bye!